Hey, it's JayMac with another edition of Joyful Parents. This video I think is going to be a little bit quicker than some of the other ones. I'm not sure. You know that I like to talk. But this is one of the worst things that you can ever say as a parent. Not because it may not be true, but because if you don't handle it properly, and you usually have one chance to handle it properly, then you may destroy your relationship with your children with one opportunity, one chance. What am I talking about? When you tell your child that they can come to you and talk to you about anything and you won't be mad. Okay, if you tell your children this, you better mean it. And let me tell you something. It's gonna be hard. But if you don't mean it and you mess it up on that one time, they're never going to come to you again. Restoring their trust in that belief in what you're telling them will be gone. And I'm telling you, getting it back, I don't know if you ever will. I had the experience. Did you have the experience with your parents? I had the experience. Went to, my dad, you can tell me anything that you want. And so one day I went to him and I told him something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the reaction. And the reaction was anger. It was a punishment. It was a lack of understanding of what I was saying, a lack of desire to even want to know what I was saying. And in that moment, he taught me something. He taught me that, A, I can't come to him with anything that I want. B, he taught me that what he tells me is not true. So he lost my respect and he lost my trust in that moment. And he had one chance. There are some things in parenting where you may only have one chance. So my suggestion to you parents is either never say that, and that may be a very good option. Either never ever say those words or be prepared. Because typically when your child decides to come to you to tell you something, after you've said you can tell me anything, it's not going to be a small thing. It's going to be a big thing. And in that moment, you have an opportunity to prove to your child that you are a person of your word or not. And let me tell you something I know from experience, because this has happened with every one of my children. In that moment, your first response is going to want to be anger. It's going to want to be, how dare you? Don't you understand this, that, the other thing? You have to, in that moment, take a huge breath. Just take it in. Maybe count to 10. In your mind, breathe in and listen. And listen and listen. And ask questions. That's okay. It's okay to ask questions. And it's okay to try and figure out why they did it. But this is the moment where obviously if they're telling you something like this, please understand that they are most likely looking for help. They've gotten themselves in too deep, or they know they did something wrong and you're eventually going to find out, so they're trying to get ahead of it. Whatever it is, they've decided that their best course of action is to come to mom and dad and spill their guts. If you mishandle this moment, You may never have a child who wants to ever be honest with you again. So it will take sometimes every ounce of strength you have, every fiber of your being, to resist the temptation to get angry. But if you fail in this opportunity, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. Unless you're lucky. Unless you can talk them into doing it again. But I'm telling you, I learned this experience with my mom, and I learned it with my dad. And when they told me, you can tell me anything you want, and they kept telling it to me. And I said under my breath, yeah, right. That's not true. That's a lie. And I wish you'd stop lying to me, because I tried it and it didn't work. I can't come to you and tell you anything I want, because you're going to overreact. You're going to punish me. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a counselor. I'm looking for an advocate. I'm looking for a cheerleader. I'm looking for a friend. And I didn't get any of those things. So that is some of the best advice that I can give you. It's part of what you will learn in our online course, Joyful Parents. You can find it at jaymcfarland.com. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. We will talk about this and a lot of other wonderful pieces of advice that I've learned, and I can't wait to hear from you in the comments as you share your experiences, and we'll turn those into videos as well. And in fact, one of the things I would love to do is to be able to interview you on the podcast about some of the experiences and success stories that you've had. So if you're interested in that, please leave that in the comments as well. And also don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you get notified every time there's a new video. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time on Joyful Parents.